May I inquire why you're no longer streaming Limbus? Backseaters. Backseaters, people don't know how to read. Anyways, I don't stream Limbus anymore because of the same exact reason. The same exact reason that that I started streaming it in the first place, which was because of backseating. Because, see, I initially wanted to, I liked playing Limbus. I like playing Limbus, don't get me wrong. I still actively enjoy the game. It's just, when you're streaming it to other people will give their insight. Not can, they will. And that comes with its pros and cons. The pros, people will, like, contribute, like, meaningfully and be like, hey, this happens, and this is, like, a reference to this. Or like, this happens and this is like a parallel to this. And that's really great, that's really nice, and I enjoy that. However, that is the minority. The majority is people being like, you need to play the game like this, or like telling me how to build my teams, but like not in a constructive way, but in a, ew, why does your team look like that way? Which is like, dude, just let me play the game. I'm here for the story. I am, like, the gameplay is like there, but I am primarily here for the story. If you want to, like, criticize me based on what I do in the game, can you at least make it, like, story-wise? The thing is, though, when they do that, I said doo-doo. When they do decide to do that, what happens is that, they start telling me how I should experience the story, instead of saying, that's cool and all, but, like, if you do this. It's to the point where people were like making fun of how I personally wanted to experience the game, and it's like, it's not a crime. It's not a crime for me to like listen to the songs beforehand. Limbus players are smart and know how to play. They are just incapable of reading. Yeah, they're all not just reading, but reading the room. Like, yeah. Like, my breaking point was people telling me, oh, you shouldn't play Limbus like this, or like being all like smug about it. There was specifically a point when I was playing Canto, I think 6, right? What happened was that I accidentally like skipped over something, and made it to the boss fight, and I was like, oh shoot, I accidentally did that. And so I restarted the thing. I think it was like the very last fight, like 648 or something. I immediately restarted it, and I was like, oh, so that's how the boss is going to function. How interesting. And so many people, I don't even know if it was so many people or just one person being annoying, but it was like, oh, that's, they were like, oh, well, duh, of course it would be like that. I mean, it's the boss fight. And I'm like, I fucking know that. Like, like, I'm not stupid. I'm just like pointing out that it was like, oh, how interesting that the boss fight would be like that. It's like, I know that we're going to be fighting Kathy. I'm not stupid. Was I there? I don't remember. It was a long time ago. Like, it had to have been like at least 4 months by now, maybe 5. So almost half a year. So that's why I don't stream Limbus anymore. What else happened? I think with Compass, with Canto 5, mind you, Canto 5 was my favorite Canto. Someone was like, oh, you're not enjoying the song to its full extent because you listened to it beforehand. And it's like, okay, yes I am. Like, the way I experience it is not the way you're going to experience it. I experienced it reading a third of Moby Dick. You probably didn't experience it reading like a third of Moby Dick. Like, I can experience the game a certain way, so like, but that doesn't mean it's necessarily the wrong way. Yeah, the Project Moon community is sad. Like, I hope that anyone who's listening who is like this has like a little bit of a change of heart, because it is annoying. What else? Streaming Lobotomy Corporation and Library of Ruina. Everyone asking for me to play it a certain way. Everyone asking, like, everyone going, press the button, even though, like, the button's already been pressed. Or, like, this and that. Or, like, people, but then if you do the certain way, like, if you pick a certain abnormality, they'll be like, why aren't you playing the game right? And it's like, God, I don't know, maybe because you're telling me to do this and that and go all over the place. Like, let me just play the game. I get it that people want me to, like, get to the ending, and people want me to do certain things, but at the same time, at the end of the day, it is the way I'm playing the game. Like, the input is nice, but at the same time, it gets to a point where it's wholly unnecessary and annoying. Yeah. So those are my qualms with the Project Moon community. There is this one guy, because I was playing Lobotomy Corporation with Lux, if you're still there, hi, who would not stop like forcing us to make nuggets, and they would get like so upset when we were like, no, we don't feel like doing that because you're starting to get really pushy and really annoying, and they would get like so upset, and it's like, dude, like for people who aren't in on the inside joke, I see this a lot with newbie streamers, like who are playing the games, who don't know anything about the backstory and like are just playing the game because it's a game, not because they like Project Moon first, but because they want to get into Project Moon and Lobotomy Corporation is going to be their first game, and they don't know any of the backstory of like all the inside jokes. I see so many people like harassing them to like do this or do that, and it's like, dude, like calm down. You could like maybe explain some of the backstory first before trying to push them to do something, you know? Am I getting called out by starting the press the button movement? A little bit. A little bit, I won't even lie. And the whole bong bong thing, which is like, I get it, but at the same time, if I don't care, then I don't care. And is that like necessarily a crime? I don't think so. Fun fact, they're not funny. Yeah. Honestly, some of them are kind of like, not necessarily funny. Some of them are like, actually like insightful, you know? Like the people pointing out, and I remember a lot of like specifically Korean users were pointing out stuff for when I streamed Canto 4. Streaming Canto 4 was actually amazing. It's always upsetting to see the community you're a part of turn to shit. Exactly! And like the part about the background music and like the Canto music really specifically pissed me off, because I was not a Project Moon fan before I was a Melee fan. I was a Melee fan before I was a Project Moon fan. I was a Melee fan since I was like 13. Like that is like 8 years. Hell, I've been a Momo Cashew fan. I've been a Cassie Wei fan for even longer. Like, I have been listening to that woman's music since I was like 11. That is like over a decade of my life. So like, you know, what else was kind of annoying? People going all, oh, Project Moon fans can't read, haha, Project Moon fans can't read. When I miss like one singular thing, it's like I get it, but also like, sometimes things just like slip my mind. You know, like, and also again, I'm not a gameplay person, I am a story person, so it's like, then again, it can be argued that like story is part of the gameplay, so it's like, you know, I'm not the only person this has happened to, by the way. I know of others, I don't know who, like of specific others, but I know people have said there are others who stopped streaming Project Moon for the same reason, so I don't know, take this as a cautionary tale, or not. I don't want to use them as like testimony against like the Project Moon fan base. I don't want to put them in that sort of position. It's not like I'm going to go anywhere with this, you know? It's not like I'm going to try to make like a whole video explaining why. I don't know, maybe I'll clip this entire spiel and be like, hey guys, here's why I don't stream Project Moon. And upload that, but I don't know. I think I'm good for not having a name, because I don't want to like drag this person in. I don't want to like end up trying to connect with this person just on the basis of we don't stream the same things anymore.